Hey, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck, happening to YouTube, atheist community, and tiny chat fun. Yes. Cat. Very comfortable. Yes, swimming in the grass. Grass swimming. Yes, it's an improved activity here. Yeah. Yes. Yes, life does have its moments. Yes, yes it does. Splendor in the grass and such. Yes. Anyway, it's, horribly, terribly cute, sort of, mostly. Anyway, gee, water. Well, I'll do that later. Remember, water that. So anyway. Oh, tiny chat last night. Yeah, I got the same problem with the MP3 thing. I got a partial one. So I'll post what I have, I suppose. But if somebody has a copy of the whole thing, I would appreciate some help again. My bad. I think it's the size of the SD card I'm using or something. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, it takes time to test things, do this, do that, all this stuff. Too much time, blah, blah, blah. So, sorry, failure, and such. Oh, very nice back here, back in the place. So yeah, maybe a short video. I don't know if I have much. Last night was suitable to the purpose, sort of. Some useful conversation about how to do things and mechanisms and communication and human interaction, and so it does seem to be more about how you make the argument, not so much the argument. That's really the missing pieces now. I mean, the logic is kind of inescapable. I could just briefly go through it, but universe, chemistry interacts, very uncommon chemistry, does this reproduction thing. Given enough time and evolution, it first just creates machines, billions of years of just machines, no significance, no jeopardy, no harm possible, no sensations felt. And, and then it creates this electrical functionality that creates this sensate brain. The brain falls on the mechanism of the whip and the carrot, mostly the whip and the removal of the whip, I would argue. So it figures out how to harm or hurt, to create a pain sensation, a repulsion, an agitation, an irritation. It falls on this. Like I said, it doesn't figure it out. It, through evolution, falls on it, and it exploits that to, essentially create organisms that are created into the world, deprivated, in need, in unsettled condition, and oblige them to seek their settlement, and gives them this intelligence to scheme solutions to their sensate dilemma. And that's pretty much all that's gone on for 4 billion years. And here we are at the the tiny one little sliver of a paragraph in the book. Human history is just a sentence in the Bible in terms of time. And we think something special is going on, and it's just the same replicating mechanism. And our psychology seems to dominate still the human function, and the scheming is still going on in terms of a very personal and selfish motivational mechanism. People really haven't learned how to be philosophical about life. Their philosophy is still some sort of personal psychological narrative that they turn into some kind of wacky theory of reality. and their theory of reality is nonsense. The reality is the millions of organisms in this one tree. The reality is that bird might be dead tomorrow. That's the reality. The reality is this constant, we're flush with organisms caught in this struggle to gain their gratification through a cannibalistic mechanism that obliges them essentially to take that gratification and satisfaction and comfort at the expense of some other organism's welfare. Yes, kitty. Yes, Santino. He has a broken shoulder or whatever since I've known him. So he does. He walks with a bit of a gimp, but he gets around. Figures it out. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story. Just a bunch of sensitive organisms trying to feel good, and they have to do it in this environment, and that's the world we have. You're going up, up, up. Oh, no claws, please. So, anyway, this is kind of a whore for attention, as the beasties are. There. But he settles in, so he settles in, puts his claws in. Ow, ow. But anyway, yeah, and that's it. It's the story. So it's a simple, the diagrams really are simple, and people want to make it more complicated, and they want to find a god, and they want to find the quantum mystery magical force thing or whatever, the multiversing and all this other nonsense, and they don't want to accept the truth of the machinery, the mechanism. Now we're all just byproducts of a swirly pile of slop, and that's all there is, and there's just nothing to be turned into an adventure movie, something that's so full of horror and tragedy. To glorify it or make it or try to make it substantive, it's just such a lie. It's such a dishonor to the truth. So anyway, that's the story we're trying to tell, and related to that are these other just mechanisms of recognizing that the real enemy of humankind is bigotries and selfishness, that there's efficiencies to attempting to find straight line mechanisms to accomplish our tasks, to liberate ourselves from deceptions and lies and fakery and phoniness and pretense and idiotic ego games and all the other nonsense, and that we can do that if we choose to do that. We can be really quite our brain is intelligent, it's informable, it's educatable, and through that process we can become quite elegant thinking and feeling organisms. And we've, so far the masses have rejected that theory and have decided to remain buffoons and jarheads, obsessed with their ego and their petty gratifications and their glorifications of their simple advantages. They have a whatever their advantage is, they just try to ride on that pretty face or on that fat wallet and say that's good enough. That's all I have to do to be a human. We don't have to bother measuring it in any kind of real terms, like what have I actually done in the world. What is my net impact on the people that exist in the world? My net impact on the sentient beasties in the world who are seeking comfort and peace. That's the real equation. And to do that, to be efficient in our interactions and in our existence, requires some discipline to be applied. And so that's, I'm just saying, this is how you get to these other subjects of economics and education and other things we have to finance or work to get accomplished. And even the construction of a fair democracy and all the rest of it. These subjects are just more evidence of more a symptom of how humans haven't quite figured out how to use their brains effectively in terms of creating efficiency and straight lines. And mosquitoes are a little bit problematic back here. God damn, that one got me. Ew. Yeah, you want some mosquito? You want some mosquito? No, it's probably not tasty. Ow, 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 ow. You gotta quit doing this clawing thing. Ow, 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 ow. Jeez. Yeah, she just wants his mommy. I want my mommy to cuddle me. Take care of me. Look at that, claws, vicious claws. Ow. Ow, mosquitoes getting me under this leg now, damn bastards. Oh, right on the arm, you little fucker. Right in front of me. Yes, I kill mosquitoes. Yes, I do. There's really no choice. It's quick and it's better than their slow death from mites. Some other bug eating me over here. What the hell is that thing? I don't know. Anyway, too many mosquitoes back here. You have to use some sort of deterrent mechanism. Back here. Kind of swampy and... Okay, anyway. I have to migrate to some other location. Even though the cat's hardly comfortable right here. Wow, once they find you, they really find you. They're just swarming here now. Swarming, swarming, swarming. Okay. Come on, we have to get up because I'm getting bitten. And then I'll scratch and I create all these open wounds from scratching. And, yeah, it's irritating. So we don't want any more of that. So enough of a video anyway. I think I've done my job. So yeah, there's really not much news, right? There's seldom much news. Not a whole lot of people making videos. Nick the Modern Mystic has made a couple of economics videos. I made replies. I don't think he's really getting the big picture thing anymore. I think he's really lost his focus or grounding. And yeah, it's too bad. Shit happens. And yeah, there's not a whole lot of people making videos, and they're certainly not making videos about subjects that possibly matter in a big picture way, and they're certainly not relevant to my mission, education, getting the truth some respect it deserves. So, yeah. Back into the sun. Yeah, deer got into the major tomato plants, which was really disappointing. But not too much damage. Yeah, so almost. We're getting really close to. There'll be a time when I'll walk through here and they'll just say, "Wow, look at all those flowers! Ooh, isn't that nice?" Hopefully, I mean, if the deers don't get them. It's just so funny how simple gardening would be here. How rewarding it would be. If it wasn't for these damn deers. It just ruins the garden state. Yep. So anyway, yeah, I think we've probably done enough. My transplants are... We had all this rain, so I did some recent transplants that are really kind of fading. But, sometimes that happens, the shock of being transplanted and such, so hopefully they will recover. Well, anyway, lots of stuff growing. Got a slug in here. I gotta wake up. I wake up early, but I gotta come out here early and find the little bastard and deport him to some other location. Yeah, there's one here too. That's a lot of damage there. I had to find that bugger. That's quite a mess. Yeah, eating my work. Ah, there's one to show you right there, these leopard slugs. Just monstrously big slugs. This one's not very big, but he's about half the size. Eating the cat food. Yeah, but these things showed up. I can better view it. They showed up about, 3-4 years ago. And they really are taking over. Apparently they eat other slugs besides cat food and everything else. So, yeah, they're the Inmendham. Yes, but the deers are a bigger slug. There's a beer bottle on the ground. I wonder if it has a slug in it. Nope. That's funny, didn't catch anything in it. Put it over here maybe. That's supposed to work. Apparently it didn't work. Maybe it's not enough beer in it. Maybe. Not too many roses this year. Yeah, they're barely eking by. They're not opening properly either. Got a couple of the red ones are kind of nice. I like the basics, I think. Yeah. But these variegated ones are nice too. Well, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Should be a nice little bunch there at the top. Yeah, I have to get some close-ups of those. Those have some good color. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, but the deer start eating those, which is really bad. Alright, no, we're really done now, right? I'm sorry. All this extra yammer. So, yeah, this thing popped back, so it looks pretty good. Had a recovery. You know, it fell all the way over and it righted itself, so it didn't do any catastrophic damage. These little irises had a pretty good comeback too. It's not a bad little bunch of them. So, all in all, not too shabby and such. So, till the next time. And yeah, poison ivy on the house. Anyway.